You are watching the Big 3 playoffs, and it's presented by Lucky 29 Vodka. We're in Tampa, and then there were four. These four squads all vying for the chips. Aliens taking on Trilogy. They're up first, followed by Power taking on the three-headed monsters. Hello, everyone. I'm Brian Custer alongside my guy, Jim Jackson. So here we go. Four teams all looking to win the chip. What should we expect?
Hard play, physicality, like we saw all year, but I think the adjustments on the little things, each possession now takes on a different meaning because you're one and you're done. You have a chance to get to the championship game. So you got to value each moment, each possession. I think that's what we'll see.
All right, we start off with Trilogy taking on the defending champions at Aliens. Trilogy, the defending champs, trying to go back-to-back as we take a look at their roster. It is presented by PNC Bank. Steven Jackson, their head coach. James White has been the captain. He's been there since the beginning, right. James White has. But the man that has powered this team has been Isaiah Briscoe.
Yeah, but he's been consistent. You see 24 points last week. Again, he doesn't settle for jump shots. He sort of puts so much pressure on the opposing team's defense by doing this, getting to the basket, using that body to get inside, then getting himself to the free throw line. Then he opens it up, I think, for Earl Clark to be able to do his thing on the perimeter. You see what he's been able to do, strong in the paint, but also set the Big 3 single-season record with steals.
Yeah, Earl Clark has been like their Swiss Army knife, been able to do everything. Well, listen, Steven Jackson was very successful as a first-year head coach, winning it all, trying to go back-to-back. He's with Brian Scalabrine.
So you got some new jewelry. Not that you need any new jewelry, but you got some new jewelry, getting set to do this again. How are the playoffs different in the Big 3?
The way I love the game is never enough jury. I want to win as much as I can. This is a different environment. I think this is the only games that I get excited for. Regular season is cool, but we're playing against a team that gave us a nice whipping in regular season. Got a great coach, Rick Mahorn. So in order for us to repeat, this is the first step. So we're ready for it.
Yeah, tell me the key. Looking at this Aliens team, everyone talks about the ball movement. What is the key for you guys to win?
Well, last game we left 16 points at the free throw line, and we would have won by 20 if we would have hit our free throws. So we just got to be solid. This team don't make mistakes. They're probably the most professional team in the league. So we got to match the intensity and just try not to limit our mistakes. We'll be fine.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, Scal, appreciate it. So now let's talk about the Aliens. They're led by Rick Mahorn. His first year coaching this Alien squad. You want to talk about somebody who's evolved. Yep. He's gone with a total international flair. As we take a look at their roster, it is presented by PNC Bank.
But FIBA 3-on-3 is huge. And this is a reason why Bullet, Las Manas, and Evosep have kind of blended together. But it opens up an opportunity for Dusan Stevenson to be able to operate with space. But give Rick Mahorn a lot of credit. Again, the bad boy wants to play physical, but no, when you have Dusan Bulut, you got to allow him to kind of do his thing. One thing Dusan can do is shoot the basketball. He's a tough competitor, loves to get downhill, but the continuity, I think, is what separates the Aliens from a lot of other teams, because there is familiarity between 2 or 3 players, which makes him tough to guard.
Well, you talk about Dusan Bulut, the guy who powers this team. How about Dusan Stevens? He leads the Big 3 in rebounding, nearly 10 a clip, and this guy is all power when you talk about his game.
But he's power, but he's finesse at the same time, because he can step out on that pick and pop and shoot it a little bit more. Had 19 points and 19 rebounds in the second week. That kind of set up the expectations of how good he could be this year.
And Rick Mahorn in his first season as coach of the Aliens. You might remember, folks, in the first inaugural season of the Big 3, it was Rick Mahorn who won it all with Trilogy, where they went unbeaten throughout the regular season and obviously the playoffs. Here's the rules. If you're new to the Big 3, first team to 50 wins it. You got to win by 2. No game clock, 14-second shot clock. And of course, that 4-point shot can always be a difference maker. And right away, they go into the Swiss Army knife. Earl Clark. The turnaround's no good. Stevens rips down one of his rebounds. And that triple splash, good.
Well, you saw the kind of the ideology of what Stack wants to do, try to get Earl Clark down low, get him established early. He missed a shot. If you don't get out quick enough, this Aliens team gets behind the 3-point line, they'll make you pay.
Here's Briscoe. Gives him the hezzy, tries the Euro step in, and Stevens ties him up.
And that's great defense because Briscoe, Isaiah, does an excellent job of, one, baiting guys in at the end of his dribble and picks up fouls. Normally, that time, Stevens was disciplined enough to pick up not a foul, but a jump ball.
Osmanis driving, left hand rejected.
That's where that versatility is at. Earl Clark can go out on the perimeter and guard. And right here, even though Las Manas had a little angle on him, it was the long, lengthy athleticism of Clark that was able to take that shot away.
Here's Dusan Bulut. Step back three. No good. Las Manas with the board. Attacking. Fading. Shot no good. Tipped out of bounds. And it'll go to Trilogy. First team to 25, we head to the half. You can see it's playoffs, bro. You want to talk about getting after it.
Well, Bulut is a physical player, and so is Isaiah Briscoe. So this is going to, game one is the same way. We don't expect anything different. It's going to be interesting to see how the officials begin to try to control this, and if the players themselves make the adjustment to that.
Here's the three. It's short. Briscoe tracks it down. Driving.
Offense. Yep. Now watch at the end of this drive. Watch right there. Just that little push off. Easy call for the fish. Now the key is this: if you're the Aliens, can you dig into the bench of Trilogy? Meaning you really only have one major ball handler, and that's Isaiah Briscoe. David Hall can come in and play a little bit more, but then you don't have the same kind of attack from the perimeter when Briscoe is out of the game. So we'll keep our eye on that and see if Aidens can take advantage of that when he's regulated to the bench. Briscoe is at times.
Here's Stevens with 5 on the shot clock. Bullet cut to the basket. That's what Stevens was trying to hit him. Briscoe will inbound. Clark faces up. Working on Las Manas. Drives in, hangs, and kisses it off the glass.
And that's the matchup to me. That's the key, because Las Manas just give up size and quickness and athleticism to Earl Clark. To me, I would continue to milk that in different ways and force the Aliens to have to make a decision on how they're going to guard Earl Clark when he gets that deep in the post.
Stevens. Driving, hanging, no. Briscoe the board. Thought about the three. Now, drives in, lays it up, no good. Las Manas to Stevens. Off the glass, yes.
A nice change of direction that time. Las Manas drew the defense to him, and Stevens was right there to be able to collect up some space, and then a nice touch using the right hand off the glass.
Clark lost it.
Mismatch inside.
Yep, Stevens working on Briscoe. 2, got to get it up. Las Manas knocks it down.
Two things happened that were good. Good defense by Briscoe inside, even though he's giving up size, and then the awareness, Stevens to get it out, then Las Manas to catch and shoot. So two things can be read at the same time in regards to offense and defense.
Las Manas now with 6 points, both threes. Briscoe spinning, winning, and scoring.
This is a matter of knowing that Bulut is going to be a little physical. He cut him off. Bulut did, but Isaiah Briscoe had that counter move. You know about those counter moves and that boxing technique over there that you're handling, right? But he set him up perfectly. See if he can complete this three-point play. Here's the part right here. 16 points. Jack talked about Steven Jackson, that they left at the free throw line. So good start for Trilogy, and Briscoe knocking that one in.
And again, first team to 25, we head to the half. 8-5, our score. Aliens on top. Sean Stevens fades away, missed it. Clark snags the board. Mir Johnson was trying to post him up. Briscoe, open three. Yes.
Isaiah Briscoe.
Tied up at 8. Briscoe's got 6. Here's Bulut.
They go back. Earl Clark able to retreat off the dribble. Just smart, because if you want Briscoe to beat you, you want him to beat you over the top. Force him to have to knock in a few of those long range jump shots before you run out too much and give him driving lane.
Here's Bulut with Amir Johnson, a step back 3, short. Stevens, Rosmanis tracks it down, and he's going to drive to the cup. Flips it up, got his own board. Second shot rejected. Kick out to Stevens, he couldn't handle it. Bad pass.
Yeah, but that's just great defense by Trilogy on the backside. I think this is Amir Williams right there. Rosmanis couldn't get the first one. The second one was denied.
Clark calling for it. Working on Rosmanis in the post. Turns, dumps it in to Amir Johnson. He wasn't ready. And he saved it. And Stevens lays it in.
An example, when you turn the ball over, advantage to your opponent, because now they're more than likely going to have the numbers underneath to be able to capitalize off that miscue.
Briscoe, pull up, yes. Tied up at 10. Listen. Game this season.
Say it again.
Every game.
Like Kevin Murphy, I mean, it's a reason why those two at the top of the ledger in regards to scoring the basketball, but also difficult to stop because they've been so consistent and they beat you different ways. It's just not like one's a shooter or just driving to the basket. Multifaceted ways they can score the ball.
So is this guy, Earl Clark.
Yeah.
Misses the jump hook. Stevens grabs another board. Here's Rosmanis with that left hand. Hesitated, fades, tried to throw it off the board, no good. Briscoe working on Bulut in a crowd, rolls off. Bulut from 3.
Tough shot, good defense.
Good board by Clark. Stolen though by Bulut. What a pick by Stevens. Used the left hand. Dusan Bulut. The dime. Stevens, the finish. We got a tight one. Aliens up by 2. Well, Saturday at 2 Eastern, it's a PGA of America special. And then at 3 Eastern, it's a new episode of We Need to Talk. And at 4, cool down with the 3 Ice Championship. That's all coming up Saturday here on CBS. 12-10 is our score here. It's the playoff. Big 3 playoff. Winner of this game heads to the championship game next weekend. Let's take a look at the Microsoft Player of the Week. You know, you, the fans, you vote. 79% of you, nearly 80%, so you got to give it to Glenn Rice Jr. Put up 28 and led Power to a victory. And Power, they'll follow us as soon as we're done.
It was big because Power needed all 28 of those points to kind of solidify where they were at, because, again, the standings were where they were in regards to getting in the playoffs. So big-time performance by Glenn Rice Jr.
Didn't start the shot clock, so a little clock malfunction. Trilogy basketball down by 2. In Trilogy, the defending champions looking to go back-to-back. No one has done it in the Big 3 yet. Here's Briscoe working on Bulut. Gets a foul and 1. Isaiah Briscoe in the land of trees.
But here's the thing. It was a quick move. Out of the timeout, Jack drew that up in order to get him isolated. Briscoe right here. Now watch Bulut right there try to use his chest. And a little bit too much. But again, Briscoe is going to initiate a lot of that contact too. So again, now back to the free throw line.
Briscoe has already got 10 of Trilogy's 12 points. And checking in is Tomislav Ivoshev for the Aliens. Briscoe knocks down the free throw. Trilogy up 1. Ivoshev is here playing with a heavy heart. His father just recently passed away suddenly. Says he's going to fly back to his country, basically in Serbia, as soon as we're done. Funeral on Tuesday. And he says that if they get it to the championship, he said, I'm going to show. I'm going to play.
But that is... It's not like he's flying back to L.A. He's going back to New York.
Right.
You're talking about flying back overseas.
Yeah.
They're making that commitment, you know, not only to his family to be back as a supporter, but also to be here for his teammates. And that says a lot, man.
Absolutely. Aliens now with 3 threes. They're up 2 again. Los Manos. Ivoshev sets the pick. He gets the rock. Los Manos. That one no good. Here's Clark. To Johnson. And Amir Johnson turns and knocks it down.
I'm going to tell you what. Sean Stevens got over the top of that screen and made it tough. That was just a nice catch for Amir Williams to be able to catch that. I mean, Amir Johnson, and go over his left shoulder, but good defense, better roll that time by Trilogy.
The chef.
Nice.
Good dish to Stevens, and he lays it in.
And that's that ball movement and that body movement that forces teams to have to shift a little bit, and outstanding interior passing that time by the Aliens.
Stevens has now got 11 points for the Aliens. Briscoe for 3. You can't leave that man open. 1 point lead for Trilogy. Again, first team to 25. We head to the half. Briscoe's got 14. Oh, Los Manos dipped that shoulder.
See if he gets him at the end, right?
Yeah,
no, Isaiah was off balance a little bit, but still, once you extend it, I mean, easy call for the official.
James Flight White has checked in for Trilogy, the captain. Here's Briscoe. How about that move on Drexler? To Flight. Has taken flight as he knocks down the 3. The OG of Trilogy.
Hey, listen, that's one way you make your presence felt as soon as you come in the game. James Wright, again, member of that original Trilogy team that took the first championship here in the Big 3.
Stevens misses that 3.
It's the penetration by Briscoe forces you to have to help and pay attention. When you do that, you're going to give up something. And that time, White able to capitalize.
Adam Drexler's checked in as well for the Aliens. As Earl Clark got tied up. 4-point lead here for Trilogy. And 4 points away from getting to the half. You see what Briscoe has done compared to the rest of the team. He's doubled their points, and he lets that 3 fly. Man, this guy can score. And he told us, I'm already locked in. He's got 17 of the 24 for Trilogy. Ivoshev.
Why you move out the way on that?
I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
No,
you did. Yeah, you did.
Did I?
See,
a little bit. I did.
When I was with Lisa Byington last week, she stepped in there and was ready to take the charge.
That's messed up.
You kind of leaned over the other. Yeah, you did.
You gotta call me out.
It was. Oh, I did.
He wouldn't see that. You gotta call me out. We better than that, Jim. Oh, Flight! Rejected at the rim. Shot clock violation. Oh, James Flight White. Adam Drexler said, nah, player.
Not this afternoon. Nah. I'm not about to get on the NFT.
Right.
Not gonna happen.
A foul on Clark, to his dismay. Here's Drexler. Five on the shot clock. Stevens driving. Too strong. Clark now working on Drexler. Pull up. Yes! That is money! We've come to the half. Trilogy rolling. 26-17 over the Aliens. You are watching the Big 3 playoffs. They're presented by Lucky 29 Vodka. We're in Tampa. Be right back.
The Big 3 on CBS Sports is sponsored by American Home Shield. Keeps your home up and running and your budget on track. Learn more at ahs.com.
Oh, we're in Tampa. It's the Big 3 playoffs. We're at the half as Trilogy trying to run it back and go back-to-back. They won it all last season. And right now they're on top of the Aliens, 26-17. Brian Custer alongside Jim Jackson. Give me your thoughts here because Isaiah Briscoe, second leading scorer, has been red hot here in this first half.
First of all, defensively, Trilogy has been much better, not putting Aliens to the line. Second, it's all about Isaiah Briscoe just being able to get to the basket, force the guys to have to help, and then once you get and be able to get to the free throw line, knocking those in. 6 for 9, 3 for 3 from mine. We always knew that he was going to be the catalyst and the key, and their defense is backing up the offense. You see the heat vision and where the shots are coming from and falling for Isaiah Briscoe. Again, he doesn't settle with just taking jump shots. Why? It's important that he puts pressure on you in the paint at the rim. He makes you help. Then he can spray it out a little bit more. Amir Johnson can get his, and then also Earl Clark.
Of course, our Big 3 Heat Vision is brought to you by Microsoft and Isaiah Briscoe. 17 of their 26 points. He's perfect from three-point line. He's 3 for 3.
But he's not forcing the three. Those are coming off a kickoff, so now he's able to get his feet set. But this is his bread and butter. I mean, just being able to put so much pressure on the defense. Mid-post, high post, and this one right here. You get your hands down, you're going to get beat, but you don't want to give up the drive, but you do have to contest the shot.
Well, only 2 players for the Aliens have scored at this point. Deshaun Stevens and Carlos Las Manas. Las Manas has got 6. Stevens has got 11. But no one has done it like Briscoe with 17. He's the game-high scorer. Now, first team to 50 wins. You got to win by 2. The winner heads to the Big 3 Championship, which comes your way next weekend in Atlanta. And Evo Chef takes a tumble, and the foul, though, is on Amir Johnson.
You see the double high
Briscoe.
pick and roll. Right there, Briscoe, you can't. Easy call.
Yeah. Ezo Chef lost it. Johnson had it, lost it. Here's the Chef. Bullet driving, and he'll go to the line.
Well, I think Bullet has to do more of that. What? Move without the ball and then force Isaiah Briscoe to have to guard him a half a step behind him when he's on the move.
Oh, did we get our first challenge? We get the Bring the Fire challenge here. I like it, Steven Jackson. So here's the deal. Dusan Bulut, Earl Clark will go 1-on-1. And if Bulut can score, they get the points. But if the defense gets the stop, it's Trilogy basketball. Bulut blocked by Earl Clark.
And smart decision by Coach Jack because the percentages, let me say this, always is favoring that the defense is going to win. Hence, take it a little bit, take it a step further, an athletic, longer Earl Clark can defend the smaller, quicker guard and Bulut. Hence, you get the block shot.
So Trilogy will get the rock. Let's see if they can convert. And Clark does just that. He's a problem because he can hurt you outside, inside. He can drive. He can handle the ball. He can do a lot of things.
I mean, huge pickup. I mean, in regards to what Stack wants to do with his lineup. And that's why it's so versatile enough. Even with only having one guard with Isaiah Briscoe, Earl Clark can kind of fill that gap and that void by his playmaking ability and scoring
Briscoe stealing, dishing, Clark scoring.
This is total domination right now by Trilogy. Again, they go back to that first game and say, yeah, Aliens won the game. If you talk to him man-to-man, they say, we gave that up.
And not only did Coach Jackson tell you, hey, look, we left like 16 points or whatever on the line. He said, we should have beat them by 20. He was emphatic about that. There's the steal there by Briscoe. Look at the dish to Clark.
Yeah, but the passing angle that time just wasn't good enough for that ball to get inside.
Take a break. We'll be back in just 30 seconds. It's the Big 3 playoffs here on CBS. Welcome back to Tampa. 30-17, Big 3 playoffs, Trilogy on top. Listen, TickPick is proud to be the official secondary ticket marketplace of the Big 3. Hey, why pay extra for tickets when you can get the same seats for better prices on TickPick? You can download the app and get your guaranteed best prices on tickets to any live event. And there's no service fees, period. Here's Dusan Bulut. Gets the pick from Stevens. Step back three. Count it! And one. 4-point opportunity coming for the Aliens.
For the good portion of the Trilogy played and executed defensively to perfection here to force that shot to be taken under duress. But it was at the end that Earl Clark, once you lean in like that, B, you know how his body's moving forward, and then the push at the end for Clark to solidify the foul.
Missed the free throw, though.
Yeah.
That's, again, only two people have scored for the Aliens, and now Bulut adds to that. So now 3 players have scored now for the Aliens. And too much dribbling. Get about that 14-second shot clock as you see Earl Clark said, my bad.
Yeah, but Amir Johnson brought his man to that block. So then when Earl wanted to go into his move, really didn't have any space. It took off 2 seconds off the clock, hence a turnover.
Here's Bulut turning in the corner. He's going to pull up. And the foul. So Bulut will head back to the line. Steven Jackson wants to talk to his guys. We'll do a quick 30-second break. We'll be back as the Big 3 playoffs. Hey, make sure you download the exclusive Big 3 app in the App Store and Google Play Store for exclusive content. We got highlights, we got stats, we got merch, we got it all. Download the Big 3 app and do it today. Here in the second half, Trilogy, 3 fouls, Aliens, none of them. And so Dusan Bulut will head to the line. The thing about that is you start racking up those fouls, especially you get to that 5th, 6th foul. Now all of a sudden you get fouled, you start making free throws, you get the ball again. You're cutting that lead real quick.
Well, that's the strategy of it, is because you want to be able to get into it. And Scal, you understand this in regards to Aliens and the way they're trying to play. How can they get back in the game?
All I understand is I tried to interview Isaiah Briscoe. Man, I ain't got turned down in a minute. I'm going to let you guys know right now. I ain't walked up to somebody and asked the question where I got to know in a minute. Like it's been since I was in college or something like that.
Hold on, did he give you the no and walk away with the head to the side?
Hand wave.
What?
He waved me off like, you know, like I'm supposed to be a technical foul. No, but I will say this. He's locked in.
Yes.
Like he's locked in. That's what is coming out of this. As we go to the coach's review right here, I went up to him. He was like, you know, he's going to say something funny afterwards. I know that. But right now, he's all business.
Yeah. Hey, listen, he told us that pregame. There was no fun and games with him.
Well, how do you see, from an Aliens perspective, it seemed like the game should be like, it feels like Trilogy should be up like 20 points, but only up 8. How does the Aliens get back in this game?
So, to me, and I know the Aliens like to pass that ball around and everything like that. Right. But the guy has got to be Deshaun Stevens. It seems like they're playing through Dusan Bulut, To me, it's Dusan Stevens, and then you play off of him, not go through Bulut, because Bulut's not going to have a mismatch anywhere. Dusan Stevens could carry this team, but I don't know if they're going to go down that road. That's the road that I would go down if I'm Aliens trying to get back into this game.
Now, do you post him up, or how do you move Stevens to get him to rock?
Here's the thing. I think the ball goes off Dusan right here. But I would come in, set screen, and let him roll out. And then make sure you're emphasizing when they switch, make Isaiah Briscoe. And you said it earlier. They got one guy that can handle the ball, Isaiah Briscoe. If Dusan Stevens, he's over here battling it. You know, if you're battling post guys, it's harder to go out there and do your thing on the offensive end as well.
Yep. Good stuff.
Appreciate it, Scal. So 9 seconds. Still on the shot clock. Steven Jackson coming in the press. They need help. Here's Briscoe. Here's Clark now. One dribble pull up.
Good box out. Evosef inside. Good box out. Good defense. Shot clock went to the favor. Push off. Got away with it.
Bulut.
Got away with it. He gave Isaiah Briscoe a little bit of his own medicine. And again, it goes back to how the physicality and the officials are kind of letting things go both sides. That time they could have easily called that, but they didn't.
Kick out. Clark misses the three. Johnson had it taken away. Stevens has got it. Bulut, all of his points have come here in the second half. Oh, he tried to get it to Evosef. He wasn't looking for it. Briscoe's got it now. He's going to pull the three. Short. Stevens. I guess Briscoe pulled him.
Yeah, he knew that Stevens was going to put it on the deck and kind of back his way down. Watch him right here. He pulls his arm right there. I'm going to give you an A for effort on that one. That's what I'm going to do.
14th foul now for Trilogy. Aliens down 6. Oh, nice. Good time. Evosef, yes!
And you know what? And it goes back to Scal's point in this. That time, maybe Stevens wasn't involved in regards to getting the ball in the post, but he was involved in the play. And that time, by raising everyone up, that pick and roll, even though it was tight quarters, he was able to slip that pass in. Even with the recovery, Evosef found himself getting hit at the line. Now at the line,
and knocks it down.
Yeah.
And now a lead that was 10 is all of a sudden just 3, and one more foul, and the Aliens get into the bonus.
Well, how quickly, we say it all the time, week to week, how quickly you can cut into a lead, but then that's just excellent movement and passing right there. A little bit of Aliens' own medicine that time instead of staying glued to the free throw line.
Amir Johnson
was able to really
first 2 points of the second half for Trilogy.
Yeah, I think he needs to be a little bit more active offensively by cutting offensive rebounds. You got to make your free throws and get an opportunity pushing it back by
White. Pushing the back.
Hey, James is my man. He did push him. He did push him. Now, again, here it is. The free throw line.
At the free throw line. And listen, he can knock it down. You keep possession of the basketball.
Yeah, and the strategy would have to be to continue to drive and force contact to get to the free throw line and maintain possession.
12-2 run here for the Aliens. Four-pointer. Bulut. Count it. And the Aliens now have a 1-point lead. Down 10, no more. As Earl Clark comes right back with the answer.
But we're in the playoffs. This is how the game is supposed to trend. Back and forth, tight. You close the gap. You think you got a lead. A team makes a run. Who can respond? Big-time players stepping up, making big shots.
Bulut.
Oh.
Shot, no. Johnson the follow.
Smart play. That's just being and having court awareness, knowing that the ball did not touch the rim. Amir Johnson right there took it right back up.
3-point lead for Trilogy. First team to 50 wins it. Got to win by 2. Oh, Evo Chef. That's a bad defensive stance there. No communication.
Well, they've been switching the whole time. But that time, Earl Clark came up and almost like a double team. When you know that's a switch, the back man actually himself has to call that.
Step back by Clark.
Okay, make up for it. Make up for it, Pete.
Earl Clark is starting to get hot. But the Aliens, they went on a nice run. They were down 10, but boy, they came back thanks to this 4 by Dusan Bulut. It's the playoffs, and we got a good one. It's presented by Lucky 29 Vodka. Hey, next Sunday, the biggest game of the season has arrived. Who's going to make history and be called a champion? Live coverage, Big 3 Championship. It begins next Sunday, 3:30 Eastern, right here on CBS. 38-35 Trilogy. Steven Jackson's squad up by 3, and we've got Steven Jackson mic'd up for sound.
Yeah, time to cook them. Hey, we're not overseas. We don't travel. Y'all travel every time y'all get the damn ball. Hey, the only reason they ain't game is because of our mistakes. All right, let's go. We had an off week, and they bailed them out with an off week. That's why they're here. They would have lost 3 weeks in a row. Hey, we just got to play harder and play smarter. Come on, harder and smarter.
You know, the thing about that, he engages not only his team, but the crowd, too, when he talks. Yeah, he makes sure everybody's involved in the conversation.
Isaiah Briscoe was so hot. He had 17 in the first half, has none in the second half, but Earl Clark has certainly stepped it up. 8 points here in this second half. Now with 12 and 7. Bulut. The shot clock winding down.
Well, it's funny how things change because it was Briscoe dominating in the first half from the guard position. But in the second half, it's Dusan Bulut who's dominating from the guard position.
Bulut and Evo Chef, they've got all 20 of the Alien second half points. Here's Bulut again from the baseline. Left it short.
How many times have you heard how tough that shot is right there? Short shot, not an angle off the glass. It's a touch shot. Bulut not able to knock it in.
Here's Clark working on Bulut.
Why not? Why not?
I mean, he has really stepped it up. And keep your eye on Briscoe. Yep. It's like I think it's his ankle that is bothering him. You can see he's sort of gimpy. Yep.
Beautiful.
And Bulut.
And that's where that time, because that ankle, that minor injury, his attention to detail on the defensive end, he fell asleep and gave up a layup.
Here's Earl Clark. Flips it up, and he'll go to the line. Let's take a look here. See if our guy's got a shot in this. Here it is. Watch the left.
I think it was right. He might have did it. He could have did it twice.
Still see him trying to work it out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if he's gimpy a little bit, you're going to run him off screens, force him to have to guard off the dribble. Test that ankle to see if his lateral movement is there.
Earl Clark's got 14 points right now. Make it 16 points as he knocks down that free throw, because here in the Big 3, you shoot 1 for 2. He averages 16 on the season.
And how about Rick Mahorn giving Dusan Bulut a little bit of rest right now, retrieves Osmanis manning up the ball handling responsibilities.
Steven, shot clock violation.
Yeah, it took Aliens a little bit longer to get into their offense. Again, you only got 14 seconds. So you got to get into your offense quick if you're going to run a set. And right here, Stevens has to be a little bit more aware of the clock to be able to get that shot up. Can't go for the steal.
Ivan Chef went for the steal. Amir Johnson makes him pay.
Again, 3-on-3, you don't have the weak side defenders. So if you're going to go for that steal, you better get it. Because if you don't, as you see, Amir Johnson is going to make you pay with the reverse dunk. And now you put your team up by 5.
And 6 points away from victory is Trilogy.
Remember, you got to win by 2.
Got to win by 2. First team to 50. Trilogy trying to go back-to-back. Here's Briscoe. Clark.
Good defense.
Fading.
Great defense.
It's an air ball. Las Manas to follow. No. And Stevens tracks it down.
Yeah, but that's outstanding hustle by Amir Johnson to kind of take that, what would have been an easy layup for Las Manas.
Evo Chef. The 3, no. Follow, yes. It's a 1-point game. Again, first team to 50 wins. It got to win by 2.
Yeah, I wonder how long, when is Bulut coming back in the game? And who he'll come back in. I imagine it's probably Las Manas, but he gives you so much versatility on the perimeter too.
Briscoe spinning, hanging, scoring. First 2 points in the second half.
There he is. Bulut's coming back.
Briscoe's got 19. Las Manas drives. Lead is 1.
I like it.
A 4-pointer can win it. A 4-pointer can win it for Trilogy. Here's Briscoe. Drives.
Yeah.
Left hand, yes!
He wasn't shooting the 4. Unless he was wide open, it's no way he was not going to force Las Manas to have to guard him off the dribble. I mean, gimpy, ankle, knee, whatever you want. Briscoe's taking that to the cup.
Isaiah Briscoe looking more like Isaiah Thomas from the finals. It's the Big 3 playoffs. We'll be back in 30 seconds. Well, tonight on a new Big Brother, 2 alliances have the house really in chaos. What will happen next? Find out on an all-new Big Brother. It is tonight on CBS. It's the playoffs here. Winner of this game heads to the championship, and Isaiah Briscoe has been the story. Red hot in the first half. He scored 4 straight here, and it's Trilogy 2 points away from victory. Bulut. The Evo Chef. Bulut again. Driving with 2 on the shot clock. Pulls. No good. Amir Johnson and Trilogy can win it. Steven Jackson calls the timeout and says it is over.
You know what, too? And Trilogy did a really good job of not biting for the pass on the wing, because it looked as though Aliens were trying to get a little backdoor cut, knowing that Trilogy would kind of overplay a little bit. So really good, discipline on the defensive end and not giving anything up. And then at the end, this is when you can bail out your opponent by fouling. James White did an excellent job of keeping Bulut in front of him, contesting without fouling, forcing him to make a tough shot. Now, Trilogy has an opportunity to get themselves back into the championship game. And just a little hint, I think the ball will be in the hands of Briscoe,
who was resting, but he's back.
Oh, he's back, buddy.
Nursing that bad left ankle. Here he is. Trilogy can win it. Game on the line. Briscoe drives and foul.
Now, they can take a look at this, because actually Bulut's not making a play on the ball. Right there, he did on the backside. So they're going to look at this, because his right arm reached down at the beginning at the ball, but then it was the contact after that I think the officials will look at. Right there, he reaches forward.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll give him a flagrant on that.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I think it's just common foul here.
Yep.
Because that's where the foul really took place. It's right there on the reach. Now what happens afterwards, because of the guys got entangled right there, is what makes it look more egregious.
Right.
And it's a wrap around the neck at the end.
And it's almost as, if you're Dusan Bulut, you can make a case like, hey, the guy was falling down. I was just trying to hold him up. And again, common fouls, what they say, which I think is the good ruling. But, hey, listen, if you're Briscoe, you can go to the line here and win it.
Well, this one they should be able to take it out on the side. Because remember that first foul, when they're in the penalty to end the game, the ball comes out on the side. Now, if there's another foul, common foul, they're in the penalty, now they go.
You're right.
And that was put in place so it gives the defense a chance to not have a team win it, the opposing team at the free throw line.
Got it. Here's Amir Johnson. Evo Chef all over him. They're trying to get it to Briscoe. Working on Bulut. Driving.
Yeah.
Here's the foul again. The bump.
So it's 2. Now you got to beat him, take that again to make that free throw. So they're saying there's one more? I thought it was only one time when you got the foul, unless they weren't in the penalty.
They're not in the penalty.
Okay, they're not in the penalty.
Fouls.
That's right. There we go. 2 more fouls. Well, there go one right. Is that one right there? I thought they were in the penalty the first time, but it was the aliens that put themselves in the penalty in the second half.
How about this? Let's see if they're going to call this one on Amir Johnson. Yeah, they call that on Amir.
But you got to be smart in that situation, because you know why? Ivasov makes this. Look at the ball back. You make this, you got a chance to hit a 3 and win the game.
Yeah.
You know, all in basically one possession, really. I mean, offensively taking it.
Absolutely.
Outside of the free throw.
And he left it short. Bulut got the board, though.
But what? Oh, good
and they call the jump.
Wow.
The tie-up by Briscoe.
That's gutsy for Amir Johnson and Briscoe to kind of go for that, knowing that a foul could be called.
And now the argument is over whose possession of the basketball.
Yeah.
Again, the winner of this game heads to the championship game. So it's Trilogy basketball and the opportunity to win it. The winner goes to the championship game. Here's Briscoe working on Bulut. Clark, point game. Earl the Pearl Clark has sent Trilogy back to the championship.
Well, B, you knew the ball was going to be in Isaiah Briscoe's hands. I love that they cleared it out, spread it out to open the court. And once the help came in, because you had to help on Briscoe, excellent job by Earl Clark. One, moving without the ball, locating where he was at on the court, squaring up, and then having the confidence to step right in for the game winner. Earl Clark, big-time shot.
Isaiah Briscoe, 21 points, but Earl Clark, 19. 15 of those in the second half. But Briscoe is with Brian Scalabrine.
You blew me off at halftime, but we good, right?
Absolutely, we always good. But you know what? This week I've been telling people we're going to the championship. I've been super locked in. Y'all just see the entertainment part. I put blood, sweat, and tears. I work hard. I love the game, man. I see y'all in the championship. I'm out.
Hey, Brian,
yo, man,
you do an excellent job interviewing everybody, bro.
Trilogy is headed to the championship game. They're looking to defend and go back-to-back. Who will they take on in the championship? Power, the three-headed monsters. They are coming up next. That's the end of our game. What a game. 50-45, the final. More Big 3 playoff action. Power, three-headed monsters. Coming up next, we'll return to Tampa right after these messages.